Welcome to the Audacious Living Podcast, hosted by my man, Audley Stephenson, the Odd Man.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Audacious Living Podcast, where our mission is to help you live your best audacious life ever. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and I truly appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. You know, this podcast is all about sharing inspiring stories and leaving you with some insights and really the audacity to chase your dreams and overcome obstacles. Now, on this edition, actually, let me back up here because I think it's really important that sort of leave an analogy, if you will, to help you so understand where we're going today. And perhaps let's think of life as a vast ocean with waves of challenges and opportunities ebbing and flowing. And for many, the journey begins with a leap from the shore of familiarity into the uncharted waters. Max Emma's story is akin to that of a sailor setting out from a distant land, navigating the turbulent seas of the language barriers and the cultural adjustments after leaving the Soviet Union for the US. Each wave he faced brought new lessons, just as every sailor learns to adjust their sails accordingly to the winds. His journey through entrepreneurship, from corporate finance to launching successful franchises, showcases how recognizing opportunity is crucial for navigating towards success, even amidst the storms of bankruptcy and setbacks. And just as experienced sailors often guide newcomers through treacherous waters, Max now helps aspiring franchise owners, particularly immigrants, find their way. Today's guest, like I said, his name is Max Emma, and he's an inspiring entrepreneur and immigrant advocate who arrived in the U.S. 32 years ago from the former Soviet Union with a background in corporate finance. Max transitioned into entrepreneurship, overcoming significant challenges such as bankruptcy, for example, and that's a big one. He has since become a preferred bookkeeper provider for over 100 franchise brands and has launched his own bookkeeping franchise. Max is also dedicated to helping others through his franchise brokerage services and supporting immigrants seeking E2 visas, and that's a type of visa you can get as an immigrant. Max's journey exemplifies the audacity required to embrace change and learn from failure and uplift others in the process. His experience resonates with anyone striving for success, especially those navigating the complexities of immigration and entrepreneurship. So now that we've got you all set, let's turn to our chat with Max. Enjoy. Hey, Max, thank you for joining me here today on the Audacious Living Podcast. I appreciate you for taking time to be here on the podcast with me. So thank you.
Hi, Audley. Thank you for the opportunity. It's great to be here.
Yeah, no, it's good to be able to chat and share stories and insights. And I mean, you know, the goal on this podcast is help individuals live their best audacious lives. And there's all sorts of different ways to do that. You know, we talk about. Obviously, we'll talk about audacity a lot on this podcast, but it really is understanding. It's about taking that, you know, that big first step, and sometimes you have no idea where that step is going to take you. You have no, any indication where you end up, but it's so important that you still take that step regardless, and because again, you're taking that step into your potential where you should be heading into, and so. So that's kind of the theme overall. What we discuss here, we do this with stories, right? Everyone's got a story that is impactful, and they've demonstrated their own audacity in their lives, an audacious spirit. You've definitely done that because you've come with the immigrant story from the Soviet Union and how you've come to America to a better life. And I'm certain that didn't come with it. I'm sure that came with its own fair share of ups and downs and obstacles and hurdles and what have you, uncertainties, doubts, all those sorts of things. So maybe as a starting point, Max, I'll let you introduce yourself to our audience and tell me about yourself, the work you do, and sort of what your journey has been up until this point.
Sure. So my name is Max Emma, and I came into the United States 32 years ago from the former Soviet Union. And you said first step is the hardest. For me, it wasn't a step, it was a jump. Because I jumped from childhood into adultery, and I mean I became an adult, like literally crossing the border. I was 18 at a time, and I was a little kid, growing up, and I didn't have to worry about it. My parents took care of everything, and then When we crossed the U.S. border at JFK, it was me, my parents, and two of my grandmas. And all of a sudden, I became in charge because I was the only one who spoke a little bit of English, who was able
Mm.
to communicate. So immediately, I'm like, wow, it changed. All of a sudden, my parents just, looking up to me and asking questions. I'm like, yeah, I got you. No, I'm joking, but it was completely different life because they were taking care of me back in the Soviet Union. But when we came here, it changed a lot,
Hmm.
and English obviously was the hardest part to overcome. I did take English in college and then in high school, and I had a tutor, but it's one thing to be able to read and even speak a little bit, but understanding, especially when Americans speak fast and everybody has different accents, I was like, oh my
Right.
God, this is not the English that they were teaching us in school. Um, so I had to come up with my own know-how to learn English. And
Right.
honestly, that was really, really useful. It helped me to excel way faster and find, a great job. It was Costco, and I was able to work there while I was going to school. They paid great money, all the benefits, and even gave me scholarship to go to college. So it was a great
Wonderful.
one. But again, it started with just learning English. So that was the hardest part looking back. And of course, leaving
Hmm.
your childhood behind, leaving your friends behind, that wasn't easy as well. But hey, now I'm looking back, that's great that my parents did it for me and brought me into this country.
The traveling with your parents, leaving your home for a new home, to have your parents with you, I would imagine that sort of helped to lead. Although you became the adults because you know so much English more than them, that must have been a bit of a blessing to be able to make that journey with them.
Yes, absolutely. And my older brother already was in California, so we pretty much came and joined um, him. So I'm not gonna tell you the story that I had to swim to the shore, and then like it obviously wasn't as exciting as that. It was all we had to go through the process and waited 2 or 3 years to get an approval and go to the U.S. embassy. So that was it took time, but by the time we got here, we immediately were able to work, go to school. So
Sure.
no issues at all. I mean, I hear all the different immigrant stories, so it's not as dramatic, but
Sure.
again, leaving one life and moving to a different one, it's uh, it's a, it's a big thing, especially back then in 1993. Internet did not exist, so we didn't know much about US. I mean, obviously, I knew about the cities and I knew about the culture and the music, but it's different. So when you come and everything is completely different, it was a big shock.
I mean, the swing of the shore does tell a better story, though. It's a bit more dramatic for sure. But um, I wonder if you could sort of talk about some of the big obstacles when you arrive. What was that experience? Because you're talking about a whole new cultural sort of experience that you've got to learn.
Well, I mean, obstacles, again, language would be the biggest one, and then understanding, you know, what people were looking for, what kind of jobs are available, and what to do with myself. Because I knew from day one I'm gonna go to college, but hey, we came, so I knew I had to take English classes first. So
Hmm.
I came in January. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna make to college till at least September. So I have, 8 months. I need to do something with myself. So I went to English school and, tried to get a job. And that by itself was a very interesting experience because nobody really hired me. And again, I didn't know what to do. So I was just walking around, literally knocking at every door. Hey, are you hiring? And the very first experience was um, a fast food restaurant, like family owned. I worked
Mm,
for them the whole day. They said, nah, it's not gonna work out for us. They didn't pay me, they didn't even feed me. So I mean, and I had no idea that it was illegal. I'm like, well, I
right.
guess it didn't work. So I did, that was the very first experience. So it went it became better after that, but this one was like,
Yeah.
wow, is that how is it going to be? Am I going to be like pretty much working for free, now to prove somebody that I can do it? I mean, if I knew
Right.
that was
Right.
illegal, I mean, now good luck doing it to me, but
Sure.
back
Sure.
then Yeah, they took advantage. But it's
No.
funny. This place is still there, different owners, so
Okay.
different part of town. So sometimes I go there and I'm like looking, like, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Good for the memories. No, no, it's always good to revisit those, and it certainly is a humbling experience. Um, let's fast forward a little bit because then you entered into the business world and gave sort of entrepreneurship a shot. What was entrepreneurship sort of your first choice, or was that the fallback, or how did you land there?
So after I got my degree, whilst working to support myself, I got a job with the largest employer in San Diego, was called Qualcomm. It's a
Hmm.
ev- a lot of people know it. I mean, if you have a cell phone, you pretty much use their product. And I was doing corporate finance and accounting. For them, it was a great job. I was very humbled that I got it. I also had an offer from Wall Street, but I decided to stay in San Diego. But after 3, 4 years, I just started hating it. I mean, I just understood that the corporate life is not for me, and I'm not happy, and I'm not challenged enough. I'm always joking that, I'm really bad in butt kissing. I was always kissing the wrong ones because apparently I wasn't getting promoted. I mean, I had a pass. They offered to pay for my MBA, and it was a great position. But I'm like, I can't take that. This is not for me. I mean, you have to do a lot of song and dance to get promoted, and I've seen some people getting promoted who were not
Right.
really qualified for that, in my opinion. Again, subjective opinion, but my opinion. I'm like, it's not gonna work. So I joined a small family business with 3 employees,
Hmm.
and grew this business from 3 to 96 employees. It was a construction business, and it was really, really successful until it wasn't, until they stopped building track homes in California, the '08, '09 recession, which was pretty big. I'm sure Canada got hit with that as well, but definitely US, it was pretty big, the banking crisis, and dot com was actually before that. That was more real estate. So anyway, and I had to declare bankruptcy. And
Right.
because you have to personally guarantee everything in construction, all the equipment and stuff, and all the cars, I had to do it personal as well. So with one baby at home and one on the way, that was really, really, really a scary experience. I honestly thought this is the end of the world. I mean, you only
Mm.
can connect the dots looking backwards. So
Yes.
back then, it just, now I'm looking back, well, the best MBA I've got, and expensive one, I can tell you that, Audley, but,
Right.
very, very good experience and taught me a lot. But at the time, I didn't feel it. And I started looking for a job. And what
Right.
saved me was actually because I said, now entrepreneurship is not for me. I need to go and work for
Hmm.
somebody. And, okay, I tried. Oh, well, it didn't work out. But luckily, understand that now, no jobs were available. Like
Right.
literally nothing was available. Nobody was
Right.
hiring. People were letting people go. So nobody would take me. And so I'm like, well, I don't have a choice. I have to start another company. So we did, and this time it was more successful. We were able to sell it. But the first two companies led me to and my co-founder to open Bookkeeping, which was a bookkeeping company, because we
Hmm.
realized that if we knew our numbers from day one, when we had the construction company, we would see that the storm is coming way earlier. But we're
Right.
growing so
Right.
fast, and it was such a great trip. And uh, what was funny, if we can say funny, is that my co-founder, who was my wife at the time,
Hmm.
she had master's in accounting. I had bachelor in finance with years of experience in corporate accounting. So we understood the numbers, so we
Right.
weren't strangers to it. But again, we were just too busy to track our own numbers, and that's we said. Well, we wish we had a company who would do that for us, and
Look at that.
we left it at that. And then when the second company started, and we started growing it. we like, well, it's time to get bookkeeping quotes, and we got 20. I got 20 quotes. I remember internet wasn't what it is now, so it was a bit tough to get it. But I
Okay.
got 20 quotes from 20 different bookkeepers in San Diego, and it varied for exactly the same scope of work from $200 to $2,000. And I knew that it's a big fork. You can't have it. This is not healthy. Okay.
Right.
And that's when we realized there is an opportunity for us, and we jumped into that and opened bookkeeping.
Mm. And I certainly love the idea of of learning from past situations, bankruptcy as an example, and building on that to prepare yourself for the future, right? Like that's kind of how like we make mistakes, and the reality is if you make a mistake and you don't learn from that, then you haven't learned the lesson. Or if you make a mistake and you walk away with that lesson, then you equip yourself for the future. And so I like the idea of building on past situations to be better.
I agree with you 100%. I've read somewhere that lessons are repeated until they're learned.
That's
Okay.
it.
So really, it keeps happening, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whatever it is. Once you learn it, you're like, okay, I got it. Now I'm gonna do. I'm sure I'm gonna make other, mistakes, but whatever happens did not happen to me. It happened for me. So that was the huge change for me when I realized it. It happened later in life, probably let's say 3, 5 years ago, and I just finally got it. I knew that before, but it's one thing to know, another thing is feel it. And I felt it probably, I'd say 3 to 5 years ago. You know what? It's not happening to me. I'm not gonna go blame somebody for whatever
Right.
recession, this, that. It's happening for me. I'm learning, makes me what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. So if you were to sort of think about sort of I guess the key lessons when you think about your story and what what you take away or even what you share with others, what would they be, or maybe one or two of them?
So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's a cliche, but it's definitely true. So it's not the end of the world. It's always, darkest before, it gets light on, so really, uh don't panic. Just stop, analyze, learn it, and move from here. Even though right now it seems like this is the end of the world, it's not. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's one thing about that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I guess second thing is that um look for any opportunities that are out there, because
Right.
definitely there is an opportunity. When I closed the construction business and went to bankruptcy, it even crossed my mind that we can go into maintenance and build it, and it's not, you don't need as much equipment, and it's not as risky, it's not as profitable as the construction business, but I didn't even think about it. And then we did it, and it worked out. As I said, we sold the company later on for profit.
Got you. Got you. Well, hey, that's what you can say. That's a great thing. You're making a profit in business is not easy these days, as you would know. So I get it. You become a bit of an expert in sort of franchising industry, if you will. I wonder if you sort of talk about sort of how that developed and now what you're now doing today to help others.
So that happened by accident, and that's another thing that I actually follow most of my adult life. I do not leave any doors unopened. If I see a
Okay.
door, I'm going to try to open it. If it's closed, I'm not going to break it. But if it's open, I'm going to look what's inside. Might not be for me, and
Sure.
I'll move on. But I will not pass a single door without looking what's inside.
Sure.
So I got introduced to a franchisor, and this franchisor just gave us one franchisee to do bookkeeping for. I mean, what did I know about franchising? That McDonald's is a franchise. That was pretty
Right.
much
Right.
the extent of it. That's what majority of people know, and they actually think that McDonald's was the first um franchise in the United States, but in fact, it's it was the sewing machines in 1850, the
Oh wow.
Zinger machines. They were
Yeah.
that was the first franchise. So it's
Okay.
like
Okay.
started 100 years before McDonald's. But I didn't know that. I thought McDonald's was the franchise, and that's how it all started. Anyway, so we started doing one, and then a year passed by, a little bit more, and then we got introduced to second franchisor, and more and more and more. Now, to make the story short, we are preferred bookkeeping provider for over 100 franchise brands in the United States, okay, such as Fast Signs, Signoramas, Sport Clips, Game Day Men's Health, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
different ones. And while we were doing bookkeeping for them,
Mm-hmm.
I went to more and more franchising events, and I really, really like being around these people. It's like to being around franchisors. It's totally common to be in a room where two competing brands with 3,000 units each are sitting, drinking beer together, and discussing the strategies. They are the main competitors. Tomorrow I'm flying to Las Vegas for the biggest franchise event of the year. They're expecting about 4 to 5 thousand people. It's like this is it. Like you see there everybody. I
Yeah.
mean, the people from U.S. government come, but like CEO of Burger King, McDonald's, and anybody and everybody in franchising is going to be there for 5 or 6 days. So I know I'm gonna see it again. So at the end, like we take over the entire Mandalay Bay hotel, and like
Wow.
at night at the bar, you'll see people sitting, drinking, and discussing. And I'm like, you know what? I wanna be when I grow up. My joke is when I grow up. I guess I did already, but when I grow up, I wanna be like them. And so that what gave me an idea to start franchising my own business. Okay, and so bookkeeping now is a franchise. We still do work for other bookkeeping, I'm sorry, franchise
The
brands,
franchise. Yeah.
but we are the now bookkeeping franchise, and we have franchisees in what 7 or 8 different states now. And what makes me proud, we're now the only bookkeeping franchise in the United States. So
Wow.
there are other ones that do taxes and bookkeeping. We only do bookkeeping. That's why we get a lot of referrals from
Oh.
CPAs. But that led to this business. And once you get into entrepreneurship, you can't never stop. So a few years in, and please understand, Adley, I have teams in every of the business. So it's not that, I'm doing it by myself.
Right.
It's impossible. If somebody wants to do everything by themselves, that's not gonna work. So, but I'm like, I'm doing bookkeeping, and we're doing four franchises. We sell bookkeeping franchises, and this franchise brands become clients for our franchisees. But what if somebody not a good match for bookkeeping franchise? I was pretty much just telling them, well, sorry, we're not a good match. It's not working out. So I opened a franchise brokerage. So now at the third company, if they're not a good match for bookkeeping franchise, I can help them
Mm-hmm.
to choose over 600 franchise brands in the United States. Okay. And there is always somebody I mean, there's always a business for somebody, okay?
Right.
And then the beautiful part about it, that my services in this case are completely free. We only get paid if they end up buying a franchise, and
Wow.
we get a
Okay.
commission from a franchisor. So if they don't, so be it. I mean, I've seen some people double dipping. They charge hourly fee, or they charge retainer, and they get commission. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I'll talk to candidates. It's actually the job of my team to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that they weed out somebody who wants to buy, but let's say
Right.
doesn't have the resources or is not serious. So I just don't waste my time. But
Sure.
at some point they get to me and we have a conversation. And then I want to understand more what they're looking for. I invest my time. If they buy, we get paid. If they don't buy, um, we don't get paid. But I actually like to um, pay it forward. So I want to help them out. So what we do, if somebody buys a franchise through Franchise with Max, they get 9 months of sales training that we completely pay for. and they get it's about $5,000 value, and they get a significant rebate from the fees that I get. So it's actually I'm giving part of the money, the commission that we get back to the
Back.
candidate.
Right. Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
um, that's
Beautiful.
just something I'm like, you know what? Let them do it, get them on their feet, and then they'll grow. And maybe eventually they'll buy a second location, and maybe they don't. Who cares? It's fine. Maybe they'll introduce to somebody. Maybe they don't. I don't know that. Again, you only can connect the dots looking backward, but at
Yes.
least, I can try.
I think what I love about the model that you've created, and I guess given your own immigrant story, you're helping put people on that pathway to success, and sky's the limit after that. And so I think it's a wonderful way of helping others. Was that deliberate on your part in terms of wanting to really help people in this fashion?
It I'm not gonna tell you like the story that when I was born, that was my mission. It came over the years, looking for my own why.
Yes.
It just became my why, I guess. But if you would have asked me even 10 years ago, I would not be able to tell you that. It's just,
Yeah.
there are so many opportunities, and part of the franchising, part of my specialty is so-called E2 visas, where we can help people from 83 countries. It's the called treaty countries, so obviously friendly to the United States, Canada, European Union, some of the countries from the former Soviet Union, so 10 out of 15 former republics that are friendly to US, they are included, and then of course
Right.
some that are not, as expected. Um, but we help people to legally come to the United States, own a business, and bring the entire family. And it's not
Wow.
very expensive process. It's totally legal. You get sometime an answer within 3 weeks, which is like really, really fast. You can get your documents in order in 3 weeks, especially if you're in Canada or European Union. So we work with attorneys to do that, and we help
Okay.
people to own the business. And some people like, well, I just want to come to the United States. I'm like, well, what if you come to the United States and you actually own the business you like, and the business makes you money, and then you sell it for profit? Wouldn't that be beautiful if you get all for the price of one?
Right. Right. That's beautiful. No, it is, and I love the idea of being able to. It's you're kind of rewiring that American dream, right? Where people come to they leave their home country, they come to another country, they've got to work really hard, and maybe they got to take advantage of. You can relate to that a bit, or things happen that are hard in the very beginning. Whereas you're developing, creating something where, not saying it's not. I'm not trying to say it's easy, but that dream is you can actually actualize it. It's more tangible in what you're providing for people.
For sure. No, it's we all live in the ecosystem, and I'm like, come on, people, let's be friends. I mean, we're fighting
Sure.
about. I mean, really, all I want to fight about with somebody, and fight is the big word. It's like who's gonna win in the Super Bowl, and I want it to be friendly. So we are recording it a few days before Super Bowl. But speaking of this franchising event, they're doing a watching party, so it's gonna be over 1,000 people. So they're taking over like a huge sports bar at Mandalay
Yeah.
Bay, and everybody gonna be there, and I guarantee you, people gonna be cheering for different teams, but it's
Love it.
fun. I
Love
promise you, nobody gonna get into fight. We're gonna be yelling, we're gonna be screaming, but we're all gonna be friends after all.
it.
And
Love it.
honestly, I still don't know which team, because since Chargers left San Diego, I don't have a team, so I took it
I got you.
really, really personally. But honestly, it doesn't matter. That's what I want to fight about. I mean,
Sure.
people just
Yeah. Yeah.
talk about a lot of stuff. I'm like, hey, let's help each other. Let's all you know move towards a better and brighter future together. It's good for everybody.
I love it. I love it. That's great. Max, for people that want to learn more about the opportunities that you can provide for them, where can we send them?
Franchisewithmax.com. It's actually the website, and there you can choose if you want to talk about buying a franchise, if you want to maybe buy a bookkeeping franchise, or if you need bookkeeping for your business or your franchise. So, franchisewithmax.com, you go in, and eventually people all will get to me. one way or another, but they'll go through different process and fill out different forms just to make sure that we know as much as we need to know about them.
Amazing, amazing. We'll also make sure that the contact details are in the show notes so people can connect with you. Max, this has been awesome. Congratulations on such a wonderful story, and again, I love the give back, if you will, and trying to help others, and you do that through your own lessons learned and experiences, and so that's a wonderful thing, and it's something you should be proud of because it is you're helping to fuel dreams of others, which is a beautiful thing. So thank you for doing so, and thanks for being a guest today on the Audacious Living Podcast.
Audley, thank you for the opportunity. I really, really enjoyed it.
This is great. Thank you. Back we are here on the podcast. Max shared invaluable insights about the importance of recognizing opportunities, especially in the face of adversity. He emphasized that every setback can serve as a lesson and how his experience with bankruptcy ultimately became the most expensive but enlightening education of his life. As he transitioned from corporate life to entrepreneurship, he learned the significance of understanding one's numbers and the impact of timely decisions. What stood out for me was the unwavering belief that challenges can lead to growth, and that by helping others, we can continue to be really to contribute to a brighter future for everyone. I personally love how Max's journey embodies resilience and the spirit of giving back, reminding us that the path of success is often paved with lessons learned through hard work and determination. If you're inspired by Max's story and would like to learn more about the opportunities he offers, I encourage you to connect with him directly. You can find his contact details in the show notes below. Max also provides special offers for those looking to buy a franchise through his services. You receive 9 months of sales training at no cost, which is a $5,000 value, along with a significant rebate on the fees that he receives. This is a fantastic opportunity for anyone looking to embark on their own entrepreneurial journey.
You've been listening to the Audacious Living Podcast, hosted by Audley Stephenson. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be audacious.
Audacious Life is about taking bold steps towards your dreams, and we're here to support you on that journey. Until next time, stay safe, be kind, show love to one another, and be audacious.